Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Watcher of the Forest. Thank you so much to everyone who has liked and commented and subscribed. And I would like to thank my spiritual team for always looking out for me, keeping me safe. Thank you so much. So let's tap into the energy of this reading. I did pull some cards already, and I think the topic of today is what changes are you making in your life? You know, a lot of people don't want to change anything in their life, right? But if you keep reliving the same life, it's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? You don't learn anything from that. And I'm not talking about, you know, when I say learn, I want you to, like think to yourself and it's like, what am I learning about myself, right? That's what the learning is, learning about ourselves. So whoever you are out there, you're getting victory. You're reflecting on all of your hard work and determination that you've already worked through, right? Slow and steady wins the race. You're being practical about your goals and achievements for this change because change just doesn't happen overnight, you're finding out, right? It just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, yeah, there's little changes that can happen overnight, sure, but for the most part, a major change doesn't happen overnight. And you're figuring out that, wow, if I want this victory in my life, right? If I want this change, um, I need to go slow and steady, right? And then you can like, knock check off all these boxes that you did. Oh, I did that today. And tomorrow I'll do five other things so that I can have this change in my life, right? That's going to better my life. It's going to better my family's life, right? But I'm not going to give in to temptation from the devil, right? I'm not going to do that because, I mean, temptation is all around us, right? It's everywhere, right? It's like, you know, are you going to get out of bed today? Um, or are you going to stay in bed all day? But, you could work towards your change, whatever that is for you, right? And you decide, well, you know what, I'm not going to give in to that temptation of staying in bed. It's a gorgeous day out. I'm going to go and do whatever I can do so that I can facilitate this change quicker into my life than if I didn't, right? And then you have the Wheel of Fortune. Such a blessed card. The Wheel of Fortune says to me that this change that you're seeking is right there, right? And this change, you lined it up with divine timing, right? With God's timing. 1717 on the timer. So you lined it up with God's timing, divine timing. And when you do that, like all of the changes that you want to make are you're gonna be able to change them, and in whatever way that you want to, right? Whatever this change is for you, whatever it is, whether it's your professional life or your personal life, right? And then we have the Hierophant, um, tradition, spirituality, and guidance. Excuse me. And I believe that you are maybe looking deeper into your spirituality, right? I mean, maybe this change is all about your spirituality. I don't know, right? Whoever you are out there, this change, whatever it is, it's all in divine timing. You lined it up. And, you're quite the visionary. You dream big, right? And when you can dream big, you can map out your highest potential. Oh, wow. Like, I feel like you're thinking of 15:55 on the timer. I feel like you're thinking of making a major move in your life. And so you're getting all your ducks in a row, right? And then you feel within your heart that, oh my gosh, this is divine timing because I feel like my spirit has been pushing me towards this, right? That's what you're feeling. It's pushing me towards this. And I can see every step of this change that I want to do in my life. I can see it all in my mind's eye, right? Is what you're thinking. And if you can see it all in your mind's eye, you can execute it, right? Execution. You can make a concrete plan and take the first step in executing it today, right? So you have the vision for it, you have the execution, and you have the alignment. And that's what makes it into divine timing, right? You check in with yourself. Are your beliefs and actions truly supporting your dreams? Adjust if needed. Yes, they are, right? They're all in divine timing. You're visionary. You have the vision, the execution, and the alignment. So let's see what other cards Spirit has for us. Spirit, what other cards do you have for this reading, please? For the collective, it's a reading of change and divine timing, being a visionary, knowing what to do. Excuse me. At what time and what interval, right? Like you can't put the cart in front of the horse, obviously. So you know what to do, you know what steps you need to take. Training. You will have some you still have some new skills to acquire before you can really advance to the next stage of your career. So maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe you are getting ready to go into some training into your career, right? So that you can make more money. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, right? Because all training does yield us more prosperity into our life, right? It yields us more abundance in whatever that means for you in your situation, correct? So you are going through this major change. It's divine timing. You've listened to your spirit, listened to your soul. Archangel Seraphiel, heart of devotion, let the cup of your heart be filled through commitment and dedication. See, you're committing to your goal, right? Committing to your goal of this change that you want in your life, whether it's for your work or for your personal, whichever. This training card here could be for anything. It could be work, it could be personal, right? Just anything. But you are committed and dedicated because you don't want to stay in the same situation that you're in, right? You want to make this change so that your life can be better. Yeah, you want to make this change so your life can be better. And then when you do that, oh my gosh, it's like the sky's the limit, right? You know, I firmly believe that when you make a change in your life, right? Whatever that change is for you, uh, and then you can make another change and another change and another change, right? It's so easy to do also, right? Live for love. You know, you infuse love into everything you do. You open your heart to love's power, acting with gentleness and speaking with kindness. You love God, all beings, and myself, and yourself. I live for love. You live for love, right? Yes, you do. You live for love because you understand that, you know, love makes the world go round, right? There's so many songs built and sung about love. I mean, from everywhere, right? Every state, country, every genre, music genre, every male singer, female singer out there is talks and sings about love, right? Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Yes. So you're bringing balance into your life, right? Balance that has to be there in order for everything to work out beautifully, right? It can't be, oh, that's what it was. I was thinking I don't know when it was, the other day probably, about our lives, right? And they're like a teeter-totter, those little teeter-totters we played on when we were kids. And, like, say you're on a teeter-totter, right? And you're up, and then you're down, right? Excuse me. And then sometimes, did you ever like just stand on the middle of it and balance it? Teeter totter it back and forth. And then you were like on top of the teeter totter and it was all balanced out, right? That's how our lives really should be. Whoever you are out there, you are in a state of perfect harmony, right? Into your world. That's what you're bringing into your world. And you're not judging yourself on your path, um, especially the path that you've been on, right? Because we've all taken some hits in our life, right? That may have like knocked us out of alignment before, right? And then we have to crawl back up and get back in alignment, right? Listen to our spirit, listen to our soul, wait for divine timing. You've already done all this, right? I want to say you've already laid the groundwork down for this change in your life, right? Unbind inner chains. Your soul is ready to be free. Let go of self imposed limitations and step into your power. How beautiful is that? Look at you go. You are unbinding inner change, right? That's hard to do, but you're doing it, right? You're showing that, yes, it can be done. You just have to have perseverance, right? And not give up on yourself, not give in to temptation. Unbind inner chains. Everything that we think about that is holding us back physically all starts inside of us, right? It's in our mind, really. So you're unbinding the inner chains. You're just like this guy on this card, he's just breaking them, right? If you can see, like, his hands are apart, they were probably together, and he's like, no more. I'm not going to put up with that anymore, right? So your soul is free is ready to be let go of self-imposed limitations and step into your power. Yeah. A lot of times our soul is just waiting for us to let go of the self-imposed limitations, right? I think a lot of times people forget that they have the power to just let go, right? If you're on a cycle that you don't want to be on because you're on with someone, um, toxic or whatnot, you can just say, hey, I don't want to go on this merry-go-round with you anymore. I'm off it, right? So that's what you're doing for whatever this change is, whatever the change is in your life, right? You're unbinding your inner chains. Make peace with the past. You don't have to rewrite the story. Just stop fighting the chapter. Peace begins with acceptance. Yeah, I believe that you're making peace with the past, right? You just make peace with it. I mean, it's just a decision. It's a choice, right? If you're so tired of rehashing it over and over and over, it kind of like traumatizes you all over again, doesn't it? So stop doing that to yourself. Stop doing that to your body and to your mind and to your heart, right? So I believe that you are making peace with the past and you're just rewriting this. You don't have to rewrite the story. You just stop fighting the chapter. Yeah. So you're just gonna stop talking about it, right? You don't need to talk about it anymore. You can just let it go, right? You can write it down in your journal and then put it up on your bookshelf. And there it is. And it's off your heart and it's off your mind. And that's a beautiful thing, let me tell you, right? You don't need to have it inside your body wreaking damage because that's what it does too, right? Peace begins with acceptance. Yeah, you can just, peace begins with acceptance. You can just accept, I don't know, your role in whatever the past was, right? Make peace with the past. Okay, I played a role in that. Yep. I healed it. I journaled about it and I let it go, right? Therefore, it's not in my body anymore, wreaking havoc, right? And if I want to read about it again, I just pull down the journal and read it, right? So this change that's happening in your life, you really have, you really must have thought about it for a very long time. It looks like it. Discovery. You have new ideas coming in, new people and opportunities maybe coming your way. Yeah, sure, of course, because you have this change, this huge change that's coming into your life. Well, there is still time to work, still work to do to reach your goal. You may discover new strengths and passions along the way. Of course you are. You're talking to new people, right? New people in your life. It's always nice to meet new people, isn't it? Because new people, they don't know you, and they might, um, like how you know people, and therefore they're guarded about what they say to you or whatnot. But when you meet someone new and they don't know you, and then they speak freely, right? And they can just tell you, oh, I love that change that you're doing, and wow, if I was doing that change, this is how I would do it. And then you might have, discover some new strengths or new passions along the way, right? That's how we get our other ideas, right? It's from other people that we don't know. Yeah, I like that card a lot. Other people bring in lots of ideas and strategies into our life that we would have never thought of, and our current friends and family would have never said the same things to us, right? Grounding. You're being asked to ground yourself. You've been spending too much time in your head, and it's time to pay attention to your body and to the earth. Go outside and plant your feet on the ground and enjoy the centering feeling this brings. You know, well, if you're up in the northern hemisphere like I am, there's no way I'm going to go outside and plant my feet in the snow, right? But I can wait till spring, right? Grounding, yeah. Grounding also has to be, taking place in the correct context, of course, right? Uh, but yeah, you can ground in other ways too. You can just walk by a tree and hug it, and then you can, ground yourself for that day, right? You don't have to bury your feet anywhere. But yeah, this reading is beautiful for whoever you are out there, right? The change in your life is going to be monumental for yourself. I am open to the endless possibilities this beautiful life the universe has to offer. Yeah, these endless possibilities, right? This change that you're doing in your life for yourself, right? It's going to bring in endless possibilities. I mean, there's just no end to the possibilities, right? That you're going to cultivate in your life. Like, there's just no end. You're going to think, oh, wow, I've done that. What else can I do? Oh, I could do that too. Or here's 10 other things I could do, right? You're just not going to end. There's going to be no end. Let's just put it that way. So whatever this change is for you, it's just going to be fortuitous for you. I am easily manifesting and confidently stepping into the life I've always envisioned. See? In order to do that, you needed to make this monumental change, right? Wait for divine timing. Um, Listen to your soul and spirit, right? Yeah. So, whoever you are out there, I'm happy for you. This change that you're bringing into yourself is going to be absolutely awesome. Whether that's change for your work or change for your personal, yourself, right? But it's going to be awesome. I'm really happy for you. So, that's the end of the reading. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed reading the story for it. Thank you so much, spiritual team, for all of your assistance. Love you guys.